Hey everyone, welcome back to Fate Stay Night Remastered with Jurgen and Jays. Last episode we were talking to Kirei Kotomine, the guy that you see on screen right now. Lovely little priest fella. We were talking to him about, or starting kind of a conversation with him about the previous Holy Grail War and kind of how its history is bleeding over into what is now our Holy Grail War, trying to figure out where this new archer came from, a little bit more about Saber, uh, mechanically how, she works, how the Grail will work, if the Grail is even still around, etc., etc. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and, get reading. Of course they could not. The Holy Grail is what summons servants, and it's the Master's role to maintain them following the summoning. That, however, is also only possible because the Holy Grail is aiding the Master. Typically, a single mage cannot produce enough magical energy to maintain a servant. Without an incredible source of magical energy, like the Holy Grail, servants will disappear. I figured, then... Well, if there is a shortfall, one need only compensate for it. That is all supplying magical energy to servants is. Their natural tendency to consume souls. Natural? All magical energy is just souls. If their existence starts to fade, they simply can replenish themselves with more souls. Well, yeah, we have talked about, like, using just people planning to use civilian souls as kind of like a magical battery for themselves, or like adding that to their magical battery. We saw that with Lancer. Assassin's Master, I think, was trying to do something similar. Is he telling me to attack random people like Shinji did? Yeah. Or Shinji with Ryder. No, wait. Lancer never did that, because that was Shinji and Ryder's seal that they put on the school, not Lancer. Lancer just showed up around that time. The heck? I can't let her do that. Anyway, Saber wouldn't want to remain here if that's what she had to do it. Yeah, I think morally she wouldn't. She's pretty conscious of that stuff. Is that so? Then you would have to use the contents of the Holy Grail. It's quite simple. If you truly want Saber to live as a human, have her drink from the Holy Grail. It's that specific? What if you don't drink from the Holy Grail and you just, like, touch it? Is there a different effect? He must have anticipated my or maybe the drinking of it is what causes wish fulfillment to happen. I don't know. He must have anticipated my resistance. The look on his face tells me that this is the conclusion he wanted me to reach this whole time. Are you telling me to grant my wish using the Holy Grail? Yeah? No? Oh, okay. No, this has nothing to do with your wish. I'm talking about the contents of the Holy Grail. Did Rin not tell you? Servants are able to start a second life in this world by drinking the water of the Holy Grail. Oh, so that has nothing to do with the wish. That's just a cool little perk. But this method only establishes their position as a familiar in this age. Their physical body remains that of a servant, and they remain in this world only for so long as their master lives. But that means that's no solution. Even if she were able to stay in this world, it would be pointless if she's still a servant. She wouldn't be able to exist without magical energy from her master, and even if she managed to live in this world for a long time, she'd just go back to that hill after her death. I feel like this tangentially is giving a lot of answers as to how the Golden Knight Archer is still here. If he somehow had gotten his hands on the Holy Grail in the last war and drank from it, that would explain why he's still here. But it also has said he wouldn't be able to exist without magical energy from her master. So if you play, like, he wouldn't be able to be here without magical energy from his master too. So that makes me think that his master is still alive and kicking. And Kotomine here has said before that he was a part of the last Holy Grail War. So I'm curious if there's a connection between them, like if he's the master or if maybe someone else is the master that we just don't know about yet, for him to keep on getting magical energy and keep on living. Saber would never agree to such a thing. She doesn't care about a second life. She insists she's going to use the Holy Grail for something else. But then again, does the Holy Grail, the key to all of this, even still exist in this world? I've heard enough. Excuse me. Basically, you're telling me to get the Holy Grail, but does the Holy Grail even exist? If my old man destroyed it, wouldn't it... Wouldn't it what? If the Holy Grail doesn't exist, then there's no reason to fight. This ridiculous fight to the death is pointless. There is no reason to fight, you say. Why bring that up now? You never had a reason to fight in the first place. I mean, we found one. I guess through a lot of convincing. We didn't initially have one, though. He says that, and time seems to just stop. There's no reason to fight. Oh, so is he confirming that? He told me that before. I'd just become a master, and I didn't have much of a reason to fight. So at the time, what he said didn't sink in. I just ignored him, thinking he was being sarcastic. Oh, he literally meant there's no reason to fight. But what about now? There's a reason for me to fight. If there's a Holy Grail, I want to end this war. And if it's possible, I want to give the Grail to Saber. There is a reason for me to fight. If there is a reason for you to fight, only if the Grail exists. And a perfectly good one at that. But why? Why do those simple words make me shake so much? I feel like I'm about to vomit up everything I've held in for so long. So long. Let's leave that aside for now. This is not the time to open old wounds. A voice shatters the stillness that had locked up my thoughts. It's the voice of a man I don't want to hear. But that voice at least settles the wave of nausea I feel creeping up on me. I don't get your aversion to this guy. He's kinda just shot straight with you the entire time. The Holy Grail is here. The Holy Grail is only a receptacle anyway. Okay, so it exists. Then what's with the there's no reason to fight stuff? Once it is gone, someone else will prepare another Holy Grail. Huh? Someone will prepare another one? Is a Holy Grail easy to make? No, I wouldn't think so. Speaking only of the vessel, yes. Okay, never mind. Ignore me. I would have thought an all-powerful magical object would be hard. Of course, it requires a certain amount of skill, a certain set of skills that I will use to track you down and find you, and I will kill you. But without that skill, the Holy Grail War would not be possible in the first place. I hope y'all get that reference. I just made it through in there. The Holy Grail is not a cup that received the blood of gold. Gold. It is based on a magical pot, passed down from ancient times. You are a mage. You should know about it. I don't. Utopia. The word is Greek, and refers to a place that cannot be found or reached. It was said that an omnipotent pot that would grant any wish existed in such a place. And there were mages who tried to reproduce this omnipotent pot, which became the foundation for most mythology. Okay. There were 3 families, Einsburn, Makiri, and Tosaka. We have 2 of those. Do we know Makiri? Wait. No. Shinji's last name's Mato, right? No. Yes? Yes. I think that's, if I'm remembering that correctly. I needed to reread this bit about the Holy Grail and Utopia. Give me one moment. Okay, I I just needed to go back and reread because I read the words out loud, but they didn't actually click with. Don't auto, don't auto. How to stop? Don't auto. I saw that. I think it's forward arrow that clicks it into auto. I've accidentally done that a few times, not really knowing how. They spent many generations researching the ritual to reproduce the omnipotent pot. 200 years ago, they managed to complete it. That was the first Holy Grail War. The ritual that attempted to open up a path by calling forth the omnipotent pot that was nothing more than an artificial Holy Grail. So the real... the grail that they started off with was just a... what's it called? Placeholder. Einsburn? Is that Ilya's family? That doesn't sound very Greek. I don't know if it's supposed to be Greek or if... Oh, he was just saying utopia is a Greek word. Not necessarily it started in Greece. Correct. The Einsburns were able to use the Rhine gold. Their ability to replicate the Holy Grail was unparalleled. But that alone cannot summon the Holy Grail. It also requires suitable land and a powerful spell. These, the Tosakas and Makiris provided. At the time, the Church and the Mages Association were in the middle of a war. As such, a land in the Far East, where the Church held no sway, seemed ideal for the ritual. So the Crusade? Is that what you're saying? Far East. Church was busy at the time. Sounds like the Crusade to me. The Einsburns must have anticipated something like this might happen, or invited the Tosaka clan to join forces. The Tosaka clan was the owner of the spiritual land in this area, and their master was a skilled necromancer. Without the Tosakas summoning the Holy Grail, it would likely have been impossible for the Einsburns, or maybe the Crusade is too far back. Church? I don't know. I'm trying to make assumptions about some of this stuff, and sometimes I just need to not speculate so hard and just let it be fed to me. Of course, the two families betrayed each other. Thinking the situation should be a system of checks and balances, the Tosakas brought in the Makiri family. The Makiris are a family with substantial history. They were exceptionally skilled with handling familiars. The Makiris were the ones who came up with the idea of command spells to bind the servants. And thus, the three worked together to summon the Holy Grail, but the moment they succeeded, a fight to the death broke out. The first summoning of the Holy Grail ended while the families were busy fighting each other. First, as time went on, they set down rules and called it a Holy Grail War, and eventually returned to working together, on the surface anyway. The Tosakas provided the land and the system to model the servants, and the Makiris provided the command spells to bind the servants, and then the Einsburns provided the vessel for the Holy Grail to inhabit. That was the nature of their cooperation. I'm not sure what's so amusing about this, but the priest seems to enjoy telling me about it. Well, dude, he's like, it's super rich history for this world. But I see, they say the Holy Grail War is a ritual. But I didn't know Ilya and Tosaka's families were the ones who created the whole thing. The Einsburns prepare the Holy Grail. As Kiritsugu betrayed them last time, they have put their greatest trump card into play, which is to say, the Einsburn girl probably holds the Holy Grail. So do they always prepare the Grail for her to be holding it? I would assume yes. Ilya holds the Holy Grail? That's weird. I don't think I saw anything among her belongings that looked like the Holy Grail. Could still be in the mansion. Also, it may look very different from what you think it does. Who says it has to be some big, nice, shiny goblet thing? Are you satisfied? I do not know what you are agonizing over. The Holy Grail is your only solution. Now that you understand that, go home. The battle is not over. For you to walk about without Saber at your side is simply insane. It is. That's none of your business, I'm aware. Lancer's master is still around. Hold on. There's one more thing I need to ask. Kotomine! Servants disappear once the Holy Grail disappears. That's what you said, right? I did. Do you take issue with that? Yeah, big time. Big time. I'm big man here. I don't know who it was, but there's an 8th servant according to Saber. He's been in this world since the previous war. What? I can see he's shocked. Okay, so he doesn't know about this. So I doubt he's the master of Archer. Kotomine's eyes go wide. What's going on, Kotomine? I came here thinking you might know something about this. There's a servant who didn't disappear, you say? It's not so strange. The previous war ended with Saber destroying the Holy Grail. So there is one servant who remained apart from Saber. Saber disappeared on her own, but if this servant desired to remain in the world, the answer is simple. They must have supplemented magical energy by feeding on souls to stay alive these past 10 years. Ah, okay. That's impossible. That servant was frighteningly powerful. Yeah, where's he been getting his souls from? If someone like that hung around for 10 years, someone like you or my old man would have detected them. I'm well aware. Someone was likely hiding them. Either their master or... Or what? A mage who knew about the Holy Grail War, but did not become a master. Would that mage also be able to establish a connection and feed him energy, or I don't know. He's getting souls somehow. Just we don't know how. I know of one person, but it is not possible. Old man Makiri has long since retired. Ah, the Makiri's family kind of comes into play now. After you just mentioned them. Kotomine must be satisfied as he gets up from the sofa. This is the end of our conversation. After learning what I just have, I cannot simply dismiss this matter, given my role as overseer. I shall investigate this servant. You should concentrate yourself on your battle against the remaining Lancer. Kotomine heads to the exit, indicating there is nothing else to discuss. ... There's definitely nothing more to be gained by staying here. I follow Kotomine out of the dark stone room. From there, he leads me to the entrance in silence. Well, that was extremely informative, getting all that history of the war. I didn't know if this would get into, like, how the wars started and all that, but I'm glad it did. I'm glad it wasn't just like, yeah, magic stuff happened and now we're here, but like I've said before, this series so far seems to do a very good job of kind of explaining everything. Sometimes too much, but still does it. A pretty good job. I leave the church, and behind me, Saber will die once she obtains the Holy Grail. I do hope you understand what that means, Shirou Mia. The priest puts that to me, maybe to make certain I remember. Hey, bud. You just look so happy, don't you? ... He watches me from the door with a condescending twist to his lips. Saber will die if she obtains the Holy Grail. I don't need anyone to remind me of that. Saber's goal is to obtain the Holy Grail only, but she doesn't want its power for herself. And as long as she obtains the Holy Grail, nothing will bind Saber anymore. She will be freed from going back to the point right before her death, and she will truly die. Why the sudden change of heart? You're not going to give warnings like that, or you're not one. Oh, I'm just happy to see you supporting Saber. Think of this as a kindness. The moment Saber obtains the Holy Grail, she will disappear. My advice to you is, if you wish to be with her, you should give up the Holy Grail. I don't think Shirou personally was after it. He just wants it for her. But if she touches it, so it'd have to be me to make the wish on her behalf of whatever I'm wanting to happen then. If I don't want the whole thing of her, you know, going back in time and rewriting history, that would happen if she disappears. That doesn't make sense. I can't keep Saber here without the Holy Grail. You do not need to rely on the Holy Grail. It is the same for that other servant we spoke of earlier. If you want Saber to stay, then all you need to do is feed her souls. Am I wrong? Yeah, we're not doing that. Screw you! I won't allow that! I glare at the priest. I see. That is a shame. Why do you want us feeding on souls? You're about to go track down a guy that's been doing it. My glare has no effect on him. He just laughs in amusement. Then you'll just have to place your hopes on what is inside the Holy Grail. Even if your servant does not desire it, you just need to keep one command spell. That way, your wish will be granted. He's saying, it doesn't matter if Saber doesn't want it. If I'm her master, I just need to force her to drink from the Holy Grail using the power of the command spell. I don't know if I like that. I feel like they're definitely laying out the options of what will be one of our final choices that we'll have to make towards the end of this. Which, since they're kind of laying this information out, I would hope is coming somewhat soon. Well, not like right around the corner, but in terms of how long I've been doing this for, hopefully soon. You are certainly free to respect Saber's wishes. It's her life. Neither you nor I have any right to interfere. I shall investigate the other servants you mentioned. I should have something by tomorrow. You are more than welcome to return here, should you wish. The church doors close. I glance up at the towering church before I turn to leave. No sleep for me as I head on back. I cross the bridge at night, obviously. You didn't really need to say that. But this is the path I once walked with Saber. You already mentioned that earlier. I was just looking at the scenery, not thinking about anything at the time. No, I feel like you were thinking about a lot at the time, actually. Saber will die once she obtains the Holy Grail. I do hope you understand what that means, Shirou Amiya. I know. I don't need him to tell me that. But why is everything so complicated? Saber shouldn't obtain the Holy Grail, but the only thing that can save her is the Holy Grail. Yeah, that is quite the paradox that you have to kind of navigate. My advice to you is, if you wish to be with her, you should give up the Holy Grail. Yeah, and do the whole soul-sucking thing. If you want Saber to stay, then all you need to do is feed her souls. I can't do that, and even if I asked her to do it, she would refuse. She would choose to disappear if that were the alternative. She will disappear, and then she'll have to do another Holy Grail War all over again later. You just need to keep one command spell. That way, your wish will be granted. Shut up! Kotomine's words are poison. I can't get rid of them. In a rage, I smash my fist against the nearby rail, desperately hoping to clear my mind. My hand is now absolutely obliterated and broken. I hear an echoing metallic clang. There's no other sound. Not so much as a car or another person passing by, because it's 3 a.m. Dang, why am I getting all worked up? I lean against the rail, grumbling to myself. I know I should just ignore Kotomine, but there's just some sort of power to his words. I can't ignore him. Yeah, he's a great authority in this war. He knows what he's talking about when he says something. He's not just speculating. If he didn't know, he wouldn't say it. What do I want to do, and what am I fighting for? In the beginning, it was stopping the Holy Grail War. Yeah, now you're fighting for someone else. Whoa! Dropped my fidget spinner. But when did that become secondary? Did it happen when I started to stubbornly fight on my own? Did it happen when I realized how helpless I am and started to cooperate with Saber? Or did it happen when I made a sword for her after our souls entwined that night in the ruins? No, that's all nonsense. I don't need to think about it. Since the beginning, my mind's been made up since I met her in the shed, the sight of her, illuminated by the moonlight. What decision did you make? You knew nothing of her. That would have been fine. Had I not shared that dream of her past, and so not known any better, it would have been over without me even noticing. But I did find out. I knew I couldn't leave her alone, and I started to hope I could somehow not lose her. I wish to stay this way. I feel like that's so selfish of you, though. Like, I get why, but also, I don't think that's in everybody's best interests. I want to keep seeing her smile. Ow! The image of the girl watching the sunset alone on that hill, strewn with swords. My chest hurts whenever I think of that scene. She never took any time for herself. That always bothered me. Beardscrew always said not to make a girl cry. I much prefer her smiling face to her tears. That's why I was so angry. Saber never smiled. But then, when I told her to smile, she always replied that she'd rather see me smile. It's like looking at an unreachable star through a telescope. Oh, have you just, like, not been smiling much this entire time either? Dang. I look up at the night sky. I stare up at the star I could never reach. A trickle. I don't know how it formed, but I feel a tear slide down my cheek. I love her. I say it to nobody. As dense as I may be, I have to at least admit how I feel. I can't stop this feeling anymore. I realize I've fallen in love with her. So much so that thinking about her can bring me to tears. Dang, I wasn't expecting I was never expecting it to get this, overt about it, but it did so in a really beautiful way. I think it handled itself really well. It wasn't there's reason for him to love her. Welcome home. You were out late. I hear Tosaka's voice as I arrive. She's standing at the entrance. Tosaka, why are you... This is not the place to talk. You look exhausted. Come follow me. She grabs my hand and without waiting for me to reply, drags me down the hall. And she brings me to her room. Here, tea. It must have been cold out there. She's awkward about it, but she's being considerate. Yeah, thanks. Honestly, the hot tea is comforting. It took me a good hour to walk home, but from the neighboring town. I walked slowly, so I was cold to the bone. So, you went to Kirei's place? As usual, she doesn't beat around the bush. I get it. Tosaka must have known what I was going to do from the very beginning. You can be, predictable. At times. But she didn't stop me, she just waited for me to come home. And now she's even made me tea. I feel like a new man, now that my mind is made up, and I appreciate Tosaka's thoughtfulness. What do you mean that your mind is made up? What'd you decide? Which is probably why I say, yeah, I went. There's something I wanted to ask him about. Or are you just saying your mind was made up about going to talk to, Kirei? I don't hide anything, I'm honest with her. I see, then I won't ask for details. You're okay with that too, right? Yeah, it wasn't a fruitful conversation anyway. What do you mean? It gave us so much information that we didn't have before. I just wanted to check with him about the current situation. I see, but I'm honestly surprised that Saber isn't a full servant. The strongest of all servants being the most incomplete is a bad joke. Yeah, and Saber didn't have to end up as a servant. She nods in agreement. Excuse me. I keep on, like, burping. I keep on, like, suppressing it, but there's, like, a big, like, almost gasp that comes out after the fact that's kind of loud. That's probably TMI, but oh well. This is funny. You and Archer might have gotten along under different circumstances. He had the same thing you did earlier. He said the same thing you did earlier. Said the same... What same thing? This is, yeah, and Saber didn't have to end up at, see... What did we both say? Archer? You mean you're Archer? Alright, because we now have to distinguish. Yep. Archer once said that he regretted his own actions, so he didn't want Saber to make the same mistake. Huh? Why would he be worried about Saber? I thought he hated Saber. I'm saying nothing. The more dialogue I get about that Archer, the more it confirms his identity to me, which I still don't want to say because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen the series before, but yeah, but maybe he had some kind of connection with her. The first time he fought Saber, he was obviously going easy on her. I thought it was weird from the very beginning. Oh, really? But Saber said she didn't recognize Archer. Really? But Saber was a king, right? She might have not known every single citizen in her country. She could have forgotten about them too. You know, if you go that route, the possibilities are endless. If you can't remember someone's face, that's as good as you not knowing them. That's not necessarily true. According to legend, there were many knights that were unfortunately driven out of Camelot. He might have been one of them. If so, he might have been trying to hide his identity not from me, but from Saber. I thought when you summoned him in the prologue, I thought he was even like, I don't really know who I am. Tosaka's unusually chatty tonight. She is. It's probably her way of trying to be considerate. Maybe not particularly effective, but Tosaka is a good person, as we've said multiple times and had proven multiple times. She's usually pretty relentless, but she still lends a helping hand. She's got kind of a big sister thing going on. Yeah. We drink tea for a few more minutes. And with that, I think that's a good place to end it for this episode. So, lots of really interesting information that we got served. Really has even me not only Shirou, but has me personally thinking about, because I'm sure the decision will come down to us, how to handle Saber's situation with the Holy Grail, assuming we get to it, and it's actually ours to wish upon or do with as we please, but really interesting. Really, really cool how this game gets you to kind of contemplate through stuff. And you feel like a very active part of doing it, even though like it's not like you get a crazy ton of choice or amount of choices, but you get just enough that you know you have some sway in how things will progress. All right. Hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.